Welcome, everybody. Episode 49 of How to Become a Sales Warrior. I'm your host, Eddie Potts. Co-host,
Mark Simpson.
It's been a minute, Mark.
It has been a minute.
Why are we here?
We are here because we grind. And I got to tell you, what actually fills right in because our guest fits exactly why we're here. We break our ass. We're the common guy. Whether we take the train for 20 years, whether we're, cold calling, knocking on doors, whatever the case may be, we're here to share experiences with the younger generation, the things that we've learned, things that we've done well, things we haven't done so well, and that's how to become a sales warrior.
That is the goal. That is the goal. Well, this is episode 49, so that means our next episode is 50, which is
How about
spectacular.
that? All right.
Our guest today, I should know this, Twisted Cow Distillery, John Pawluk. Met him at a networking event, tasted his spirits, Twisted Cow, that's what we call it. And knew right away that I wanted to do something with John. And first thing I did was arrange a breakfast meeting at night at his place. And it was very easy to get my alcoholic friends to jump on board and say, yeah, let's go. And I think we had 20 guests, and John made it a great time. Food was great, the tour was great, the atmosphere was great, and everybody walked away like, man, this was awesome.
Right, that's great.
Yeah, it is. So, wanted to make sure that connection continues onward, and that's why we have his spirits here. I'd love to him at some point possibly be a sponsor.
It's a Monday after a long week, so
I know.
It's a good deal to probably have a couple of those for our time today.
I was running through John what we were going to talk about, and I said sports moment. He goes, the freaking Islanders. And we were at the game Saturday, and It was just listless, like pathetic. And then we got out, and then the Mets lose, and it's just like, can anyone win a freaking ball game?
So you want to talk about sports?
Sure.
I'm really pissed off, actually. I'm a diehard Met fan. Right? And I accepted Alonso leave. I didn't love it. The Diaz thing was a complete screw up. But you lie to us. And that's the thing. It's like, just be honest. Run prevention bullshit. Who even talks that way? Run prevention. And then you go have three guys out of position. The team sucks.
Yeah.
It's not exciting to watch. And it actually hurts me because there was something so special 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I believe in the owner. I think he's doing the right stuff. But this guy reminds me of the know-it-all. Knows better than everything, and
kick everyone to the curb.
And you're going to see the fan uproar, man. The fan uproar is
because McNeil had a great weekend. Diaz had a great weekend.
It's it's tough, and I feel for your Islander fans. How do you not make the playoffs? I was so.
It was right there for them.
And
even after Saturday's loss, there was still an opportunity.
This is like the first time in years that the Devils, Rangers, and Islanders
all out of the playoffs.
Right.
So today we're going into chapter 10. Organizations and associations. So I was part of Best Western hotel chain. They're a customer of mine, and they reached out to me to be part of their trade show association, and I brought it to my boss, and he said no. He goes, I want to pick an association that I want you to go to. I'm like, okay, sounds good, boss. You making a decision. Appreciate that. And he comes back with the AAHOAC. It's an Asian hotel organization.
Okay.
So my immediate thought, and this is probably being prejudiced, I was figuring it was Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese. That's what I was thinking when they brought this.
Right.
No, not at all. No, it was Indian, Pakistani. I was so surprised. But it was a good choice. There were a lot of decision makers there, not as many as they said would be there. That's always the case with a trade show. You talk to someone who was there last year, and they're like, yeah, it declined a little. Like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Coming in at the wrong time again. But I met a lot of owners who asked me to follow up. And I did all those follow-up this morning, got all those introductions back out. But it was choosing the right organization. Is there going to be an ROI? And of course, you don't know until you go and see what you see.
Right. Well, especially somebody like you, how many organizations can you actually belong to and make a difference?
Right.
I think at some points in time you have to say, pick your lane.
I give it a year. I give each one a year. And I did three relocation organizations upon request from my boss and other people in the company.
That makes perfect sense, right?
They didn't work out. Didn't make a damn sale.
Right.
Spent the time, spent the effort, went to 2 conferences in each one. That's a total of 6 conferences. Traveled out of state for all of them for 3 days. Not a single sale, not a single callback. People there just sucked. It just didn't work out.
Right.
Time to move on to something else. But picking the right one is really important. And the action statement is find the one that's a right fit, fits your budget. And the last action statement is, if you don't get involved, you won't get anything.
Well, I think that's the key with anything, right? They
Correct.
say that everywhere. Get involved, even if you don't like it, change it, whatever the case may be, but try things out. You just never know what happens.
Correct. So we're at good time. Word of the day, effort. It was a constant battle to get people to put an effort forward in my surroundings, the people in my world, and it's really getting frustrating.
Dude, that's everything.
Like, I watch these people, and it's like they want this, they want that, but they don't want to put the effort in.
Well, listen, think about it. Every time you plan an event, it's you put the effort and you hope somebody shows up.
Right.
Right? Everything's about getting out of bed, effort. Like, the difference, honestly, it's one of the most important things. The difference between success and not success is effort. Really, at the end of the day, you don't have to be super smart. You don't have to be, IQ off the charts. If you work hard and you have effort, you're halfway there.
So I knew we were going to a trade show, and I knew I wasn't in charge, so I let the person in charge be the person in charge. And we had no giveaways. Didn't know that till I got there.
Which is against the Eddie Pods Trade Show Playbook 101.
I came prepared, though. I bought 2 gift boxes, one of Grey Goose and one of Bullet Bourbon.
Right.
Nice boxes. That was the only thing on my table, except a piece of paper. And again, it wasn't my show. I was just going as an assist. Someone else did it, and I was like so appalled. But my bottle of booze got a lot of attention.
Right.
Got a lot of scans. And yes, I picked and chose both boxes both days. Yeah, I'm a scum, but I did. I chose who I wanted to win the boxes based on their value to me. Yes, it's strategic.
Right. It's like you're not revealing trade secrets. The
right,
magician exactly. Trade secrets.
And one of the guys was a buyer broker for the Dunkin', Baskin-Robbins, and Sonic brand. Well, I already have an small end with them. This guy might be able to really put it to the next level. He said it had over 400 franchises under his purview. So, I picked and chose. That was a great maneuver,
Right.
And then the second day, I chose an exhibit specialist. So this guy came to set up the Lowe's booth. Lowe's had a booth probably as big as this room, pretty big. High stuff, all kinds of places. But I chose him because he had storage needs in Vegas. I have warehouses in Vegas. He goes around the country for all his projects. Mm-hmm. At some point, will become a good logistics tool for that. I know it because I do it currently for other programs, but the ones that maintain and are successful are the ones I want to be part of,
right?
Because it's just a container that keeps moving all year long. And right. It's just making money. So I chose him, and he was really excited. And the funny thing is, both people that won, I reached out to both of them yesterday and today, and they both already responded. So I didn't just throw my booze away. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to jump into tequila time.
I'm looking forward to tequila time.
And we'll be back in 5. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 49 of How to Become a Sales Warrior. I'm your host, Eddie Pods, co-host
Mark Simpson,
and our guest today, John Pawluk from the Twisted Cow Distillery in East Northport. John, why don't you tell us what we're about to, because we are in tequila time. If you don't know, if you didn't take a look at the podcast beforehand, tequila time is time to recognize the way we do something new from the way we used to do it, whether it's better or worse, but somehow we used to do it this way, and now we're doing it this way. Could be still on equal balance, but I like to point things out that I come across. So tell us about your Reposado.
Thank you. So this is the first Reposado, batch 2 of the first Reposado ever made in New York State. So it's a perfect complement with your ideas. We We take a agave syrup, we ferment it, age it on site, we distill it like our whiskeys, we barrel it like our whiskeys. We put it in number 3 virgin oak barrels, just like whiskey. And this is a combination of 6, 8, 10, and 11-month barrels that were put together for specific flavors in each barrel.
Wow.
So that's French cognac theory that was deployed putting this
Well,
together.
let's toast it up, and I'll tell you what the old and new
Cheers.
is. Remember, chew it.
Yes, sir.
Smooth. All right, so old and new. This was really came to me so quickly. Normally, I have a hard time putting something together, but finding guests for our podcast. It used to be just flipping through my Rolodex. It's 49 episodes later. The Rolodex is getting a little thin.
Right.
The local people that I know that can come getting a little smaller in the pool. I focused on my last 2 trade shows, one in Orlando and one that was just this past week in Philadelphia, on finding guests. Could see them in action, selling at the trade show, someone whose personality would fit, and there
Right.
could be a connection business-wise, hopefully, but also, trying to find the right guests for this show. And like I was just telling Mark, I got from the Orlando show, I've booked our next guest,
Right.
and I have another guest that I all ready to go. So new and old. I used to just do it from the old Rolodex. Now I'm, going out on these business trips and meeting the right people, and I think that's going to be the way I'm going to have to continue this.
I feel like I'm just scratching the surface with guests. This is pretty exciting. I think.
Good.
I'll tell you, we've had. I mean, I'm very excited to talk to you, but we've had a lot of interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a very cool thing. And let me just
Go.
I was at a trade show, the big ISC West, a big security trade show, walking, and it's 30,000 people. Got stopped. I saw you on a podcast.
Did you really? That is so cool.
I go, oh shit, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh, you're a podcaster. I'm like, I don't consider it, but I guess after.
Did you get his number?
He might be, I'll ask him to be a guest.
Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah.
See, there you go. You're backing up my theory.
How about that?
That is awesome.
But now you're starting to see people that they see us, and again, we try to make this like this is like a shooting the shit out of a bar or something like that.
Awesome.
And now people are like, oh, well, you know what? It's non-threatening. You come in, you talk
Right,
about
and
it a
that
little
we're
bit.
not trying to be provocative. We're not trying to be advantageous. We're not trying to be anything other than educational.
Right.
And trying to put a fun spin on it, which I got to chew it.
Well, yeah, something new and old too. I used to just shoot this, and now I chew it. So there we go, right?
Especially the first sip. It eases its way into your palate.
Smooth. All right. Best business decision of the week. Mine was going to the AAHOAC show in Philadelphia. Like I said, I'm always, you know me, Mark, I'm up for a new adventure. 3 days out of the house, no wife, no kids, no dogs, no cats. Nice 3-hour drive to Philadelphia with no traffic. Meet my contact there. Come back the next day, let's go. Balls to the wall, we're ready. And then do that for 2 days, meeting people, getting connections, and then by Monday, I have already reached out to all 32 leads from the scanner on my phone. So following up with my bullshit, it's not bullshit, got my follow-ups already done. That's my networking tip of the day, along with my best business decision. What about you?
Well, I was at ISC 2-3 weeks ago, and you'd be very proud. It was exhausting. And I was there representing a couple different companies and whatnot, and so I think my trade show started 3 months ago. It fulfilled by having 3 days of nonstop meetings. Great show, good networking. I will say this, teeing up if we're going to piggyback on kind of networking tips.
Yes.
I think one of the things that's very important is your emotional state. And I say this as an older person versus someone I wouldn't recognize this 20 years ago. But I think you emotionally have to be prepared and not afraid to put yourself out there. We've said this, I'm a finance guy, former finance, whatever, but I'm negative by nature, right? So,
Yes, you are.
I might not be kind of out there to be as
He
open.
is now.
But I think emotionally, and I think we can say this as older people, I'd say that hurts me. But I think having your emotional balance and mental well-being in a good spot going into the networking, listen, worst case, it's a waste of time.
Right.
Right?
What's the worst case?
But you know what? If you look at this and say, "Oh, I'm going to meet a bunch of interesting people and absorb and appreciate those discussions."
Learn what you can from them.
Right. So I'll say, like in Vegas, we met a bunch of. I think maybe I'm just very curious about people's past, why they got to where they got to, and you just never know. And I think you can kind of cross-connect, especially when you have real-world experience.
How about you, John? Best business decision of the week?
Coming here.
I love that answer. Love that answer.
It gets me out of my comfort zone a little. I'm comfortable talking, but it's opening arenas, and that's like you said about networking. It's about getting out there, talking, learning, investigating, questioning, and everyone kind of gets more.
Right.
You know, and Mark and I have talked about this since it used to be old-fashioned time with my first co-host, but when we switched to Mark over a year ago, I needed to change it to tequila time. That was my original drink anyway. And I said to him, I really want to be able to sponsor somebody who's in the same boat we're in. We're new, we're young, we're 2 years old. We want to go and be bigger. And I want a brand to go with us. And I'm not trying to press you, but it's been part of our goal to bring all the people along with us. So if I could turn a listener in Texas into your booze. I mean, you do shipping, right?
We do.
I didn't know that. Should have known that. But being able to do that helps further the cause. You're a younger guy. To me, you're a wee younger guy. You don't know how old I am.
You know how old I am.
But I know where you're at because I started a business 2 years ago and it closed. But I also started a podcast 2 years ago, and we're still here. And I actually said to my wife on our way home from Italy, I said, I don't know about the podcast. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't know if I should, cap it off at 50 and call it a day or continue on. She goes, don't you really enjoy doing it? I said, yeah. She goes, so why can't it just be a hobby? And I'm like, I never looked at it that way. I never looked at it as a hobby. I looked at it as maybe there's a business here, maybe there's an opportunity here. I really didn't sit back and go, I really do enjoy this. And your wife's giving you the blessing. You just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I look like I have zero expectation from the podcast, and I think it's been more enjoyable in meeting people. And look, we've brought a lot of different things together through this podcast, but not by trying. And sometimes we not try, just things happen naturally and organically, and that's kind of what the nice part of this podcast has been with a lot of the people we've met.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm about numbers. Big win of the week. I could point to, the guy I met at the trade show yesterday, but I'm going to throw that one to the wind. First quarter, 2026, I hit 107% of my quarterly goal. And that's without, there's more there, but at this moment, I am at 106% of my goal for the quarter, which means good payout. That's my big win. I'm all about the numbers, man. All about the numbers.
I know a thing or two about numbers. I know a thing or two about stress and pressure and all that other stuff with numbers. Look, I'll say without getting into too many details, Sam, my business where we focus on loss prevention, we're having a record quarter. And it hurts me to say it, jinx, knock on wood, but we had our best first quarter. We're 5 years old now. Colmac's our home address. And the team, give a shout out to my team that's all up and down the East Coast.
Tell their names. Give some names.
We keep everything kind of quiet. Yeah, we keep everyone quiet, but eventually they'll be on here as well. And then other businesses I'm involved in as well have all been very interesting, bringing things together. And we have our fingers on the pulse, man. If you follow the stock market, people can be jumping out windows one day and then doing great the next day, and it's just very uneven as a whole. There's some people doing great, some people not doing great. Prices are rising. It's a very tricky time. And when you run a business and navigate through it, especially what you're doing now, it's a challenge. And morphing your business decisions to your consumer is critical. Getting people to come out, getting people to spend money on this. It's all, kind of an interesting time now.
Yeah.
John, big win?
Yeah, big win. Big win was, I don't know if it was a win, it was a recognition.
So that's a win.
As a distillery, we have quarterly and monthly reporting that we do to the federal government, and I look back and say, what's our production at? How much are we producing? We're young. We're only 2 years old, but we're building for the future. So we're dumping money into a room, into a barrel room.
Right. I've seen
Filled
that
our
barrel.
222 barrels we filled so far at our little place in Hewitt Square.
I have a lot of questions.
Sure. So
I'll come back to it,
Yeah.
but I have a lot of questions on that.
along those lines,
Yeah.
I'm going through the reporting. We've gotten a lot of automation that we've put in place for the last 6 months.
Right.
And over the first, we have a total of about 11,000 gallons of spirits in storage in barrels in our facility as of the end of March. Right. Super proud of that. We've done roughly a third of that in the last 6 months.
Wow.
You're figuring it out.
We're getting so much more
Getting
effective.
efficiencies and
And that's
Figuring it
letting us
out.
go, and now that's enabling me to bring some people in to help grow the business operationally, where I don't have to be there all the time. I'm here. I would never have done this a year ago.
right,
6 months ago, I couldn't have done this.
right.
That for me, that's a big win, is recognizing where we're at and kind of every once in a while taking a breath, saying, "Oh, take the foot off the gas pedal and understand what you've done and where you've come," and kind of it's a little breath in the if it's a self blown of your own sail, not
Yeah.
pounding your chest
The
to
fact
other
that you
people.
realize too that you can't do everything is
No.
a really good starting point for scaling and success.
That's
because,
really happened in the last 3 months, where I'm looking for a salesperson. I can't be a full-time salesperson.
Right.
It's impossible because I'm the brand.
Right.
I'm the emotional foundation of the brand. I'm the Mr. Wizard behind the scenes.
You are. I've
And
seen you in
I
action.
need to have someone else push that out there, to have the diligence of being able to follow up with your 32 leads within 2 days.
Right.
That's my greatest fault. I don't never have time because something else pops up.
Right.
So I need to have that person do that. So that's, for me, those two things are really, it's a 2-pointed question to answer.
So
No,
I'm going to give you a networking tip, business tip, based on our interaction at the business event that I brought to you. There were 18 different businesses there.
Mm-hmm.
You did not have a sign-up sheet for follow-up emails for a newsletter for people's email addresses.
Right.
Just sharing.
Yep.
No one did a follow-up email to me the next day thanking me. I'm pointing out good
Yep.
things for you.
Yep.
I could give a shit. I had a great time. I didn't get an email saying, "Hey, is there a way I could reach out to some of the people that were there to see if they're interested in possibly buying a holiday spirits pack or doing an event?"
Yep.
What you were just saying, you can't do everything.
Yep.
You're looking for a salesperson, and I'm just sharing with you. Here's some real
Simple
Eddie
things.
Pods 101. Those are the 4 things I would have done if I was in your shoes at the following of that week.
I'm just thinking how much free time I might have from pods. Maybe we got a little part-time situation here.
I actually brought that up to him.
And that was not.
I actually did I not bring that
Yeah.
up to you? I did, because again, at some point my pod's job will end at some point, and I really don't think I'm the type that's going to retire forever. I could see myself doing this and something else in a part-time role, and it's like, when's that happening? Well, Dora's going to college. I think it's 4 years, but who knows? You don't know. Your life could change tomorrow with your employment. But I did throw that out there too. So the last card we have here is question from a guest, Dan Vulture, episode 16, August 12th, 2024. What outreach are you guys doing to grow the podcast? Not enough.
100%. Not enough.
Not enough.
We are not practicing what I preach, because honestly, at the end of the day, this was kind of like a hobby.
Right.
And some of us, between us, there's probably 6 jobs we have at this point in time, 7 jobs, something like that. So it's just been a very tricky situation.
We'll get there.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Having my wife, not her blessing, but her understanding.
There has been a change, though. Can I just say,
Go.
we're veering, and I apologize.
No.
We have to say this. You and I, we go back, whatever it is,
12 years,
whatever it
15
is, something
years.
like that, right? And you were my daughter's soccer coach, right? My daughter was there every day. Girls grew up a little bit, and here we are, without a plan. We're going to be hanging out in South Carolina together at football games.
Fucking amazing.
It's amazing. So I think the podcast is going to be hitting the road. I think we're going to be at the student union. I think there's going to be natural things that are evolving without plan, because somehow, some way, we're going to be in South Carolina
We
together.
were meant to be together. It's awesome.
It's funny how it works.
It's crazy, dude. Crazy.
Dig in, bro. Dig in. I know you.
Well,
you
all
got
right. So I'm going to paint a scenario. So I started my career at Price Waterhouse, CPA, and that first summer, when you're working doing audit, and you're realizing there is no summer breaks, and your billable hours. And then, at some point after a year or two, you go on your first vacation, you say, oh shit, I want to work in Aruba, I want to be on a cruise ship, or I might want to run a distillery. So I have such appreciation because of knowing your background as you were CFO.
CFO for a bit, yeah.
Which is a very tough job.
Chief financial officers for those people like me in layman's terms.
Yeah.
So just talk me through. So you started, as a finance guy in Wall Street, taking the train, breaking your ass.
Yeah.
What was, where did you go? Like, just kind of get me through where you started to how you're, if this was like a dream, and then how you kind of made the leap.
So it's an evolution. September 11th happened, and right after that.
Where were you? Were you in the city?
I was in the city. I was in Maple Securities in Jersey City, actually.
Okay.
We saw everything. We were looking at
across the river.
And Hudson was I forget the name of the building. But basically, the building right across from the Trade Center. Super impactful, emotionally terrifying, personally, everything bad that day. After that, a lot of things happened to Wall Street. Corporations were partnerships were no longer corporations. Wall Street's a super greedy, super hyperactive, super competitive business. And my opinion, looking back in retrospect, was partnerships work best in that environment, not corporations. Because the checks and balances in partnerships are tied in like you guys.
Right.
It's a good marriage. And you can say anything to your partner. It's hard to say that to the quote boss.
Right. Or the board.
Or your investors. And there's a lack of stability that you have, I think, in corporate America that you have in a partnership. Accountability that's greater. So looking back, it's easy for me to say this now, but I felt something changing with decimalization coming in, with automation, with robotization, electronic trading, all the arbitrages that were going to microseconds. It was pushing out the creativity in the small guy. And that was my business. I like being with smaller firms.
Right.
They could have a global reach, but they could be small in their.
Easy to manage.
Yeah, small in their footprint. So I saw as years went by my career getting more focused into the CFO FinOp role, and there were fewer of those opportunities, like algebraically declining. And so I knew there was something I was going to have to do. And it just kind of like how this podcast happened for you guys, I watched an episode of Moonshiners.
Oh.
Crazy. It grabbed my soul. There's a great song, Steve Earle, Copperhead Road.
I know that song.
Great song.
I know the video. There's a video to it. I actually know the video.
Yep. So that kind of grabbed me. And it really, I like making things. I like having a great time.
When did you actually leave Wall Street?
2019.
Okay.
So you hung around for another bunch of years.
Had to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So 2019, right before COVID, I guess, or so?
2018 was right before COVID.
So
COVID was 20.
How did you make the jump? Because a lot of people want to do this, but don't make that jump.
So I knew my time was. I was going to either take a role at a larger firm, which I was doing some consulting for. Apex Clearing, great firm, great people. I miss them dearly, and I probably would have done great there. I know I would have done great there, but it was a crossroads. What do we do? Am I going to do the same thing and be tied down for hours and hours and hours, or am I going to take the leap and bet on myself for a change, rather than betting on the opportunity?
Right.
And that everything's going to work out? I wanted to bet fully on myself, and that's really what pushed me.
What made you choose a distillery?
I had been doing some research and development over the years, and I had an affinity for it. I had a skill, and there's brewing and winemaking are like baking, very, very precise. I like the freedom of creativity and flexibility. And in my world, historically, I was a regulatory accountant. So I was reading rules and trying to do things within those rules and looking at them saying, well, we can do this, we cannot make those decisions.
You're being creative within the rules, yeah.
Being creative within the rules. So this is something similar. I'm like, well, why don't we? I was making Blanco agave because we had to have a tasting room. We had to have an agave product in the tasting room. I'm like, why don't I pop some of that in a barrel, make a reposado? It's just having.
Were you doing any of this on the side?
No.
Well, okay. So
how do you go from?
well, you having making an income,
Yeah.
and how do you do? Because a lot of times when you start a business, not only do you not make an income, you're basically dumping money in.
I did some research.
Okay.
We'll call it research. I investigated processes. I found that it was something I wanted to do. I knew there weren't many distilleries. We traveled. We were down in Carolina. I was in Texas. I was in Massachusetts. We're throughout New York. There's a lot of distilleries. It turns out New York has the #2 number of distilleries in the nation.
Really?
California's #1.
Mm-hmm.
We're #2 in New York because the law was changed for the craft distilling law, early 2010 or so. I just found that there was an opportunity in the market for something that was different. And when you look at it, 95%, 90% of the spirits that we consume in the United States, it's made by maybe 2 handfuls of distilleries. And they all are almost identical. They're using the same styles of corn, the same styles of mash, the same stills, generally round, copper, steam-jacketed stills. Mine are square. Mine are insulated.
So this is all part of your kind of business plan.
I wanted to do something different.
Right.
So I looked into it, made some great connections. I got mentored a bit and really dove into it, went down the rabbit hole. There's a great distillery in Kentucky called Rabbit Hole. I went down the rabbit hole. I went down the rabbit hole.
Went down the rabbit hole.
And by background I'm a numbers person, I'm a spreadsheet guy, projections, understanding costs. Literally, my floor plan was laid out in Excel. I had a page for stills, a page for storage, a page for electric in graph paper.
I get it. I'm an Excel guy, so
that was my
you're
world.
preaching the language.
So you
So we
basically
figured it all out.
right. So how did you fund it?
It's self-funded.
Wow.
I self-funded, so I being an accountant,
bet on himself.
I bet on myself. 401k had done good, and I had investigated something called the ROBS, R-O-B-S. It's where you can take your
401k,
retirement money,
use it for a
invest it in
business.
your corporate stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rather than buying IBM or Google, I bought my stock.
Nice.
So no penalty. I pay a fee for the management of that every month. And I just bought I'm just bringing in an investor now that's helping me go to the next level and keep producing.
So you are bringing an outside investor.
Yeah.
Is it like a relationship, or is it like a real
it's a relationship
okay.
that was met during a charity event.
Okay.
And who would have thought? Who would have known? And it's the first charity event that I ever had done, and stars aligned. And it's a great opportunity for all of us. It's a fun time. I get pushed. It forces me to think outside of what I would normally think. It holds me accountable in a different way. So for me, it's been great.
How big are you guys now?
We, in terms of head count?
Yeah, head count.
I think we have 10 people.
Okay.
And we don't really need to grow more. We can operate the full distillery at full production with 1.5 bodies. It's super.
And how did you build out the distillery? Like how'd you?
You figure it out. You ponder.
You figure it out.
You stare and you say, "What if?" And you troubleshoot everything. You really troubleshoot. I mean, how many times did Elon
But you're
Musk
troubleshooting every time it's your capital.
Yeah. So I mean, did I make a couple of mistakes? Yeah. Out of the entire build, I probably made, I'm going to say 5% of my build out cost was probably incorrect.
Okay. That's excellent.
I've never
though.
built anything. I am ecstatic.
That's not bad.
And that's equipment that I bought because of processes that I wasn't aware of. It's funny when you make a mash of 5 gallons and then you make a mash of 1,350 gallons. That's what I did.
Ooh.
That's the difference. How do you get rid of that grain? You got to figure it out. You got to research it. Go to trade shows. Talk to people.
There you go.
Then things change. Like, oh, what happens when that goes down your drain? Some of that the finer grains clog up your cesspool. Now what do? You get it pumped. Well, that's $4,000. I can't do that anymore. Then you reach out and.
Did you buy the fire truck yet?
No, I'm not sure if we're going to do the fire truck yet. We're working on some other opportunities. That would be great, though.
That would have been. I thought that was awesome.
So it's not super pragmatic, though. So I need to be a little more focused. So then you find out you got to pivot. Everything changes, and then, hey, I can't do this. There's a better way. So now we dump at a farm. Literally between 1,000 and 1,200 gallons of stillage every week goes to a farm, and they use it for compost. Through a relationship I met through one of the breweries we work with.
It's fantastic.
Working with CW Post LIU on Comac Road. They have a little track there. They have some head of cattle come in the winter. Guess what? Cattle love stillage. 30% increase in milk production.
Really?
Dump it right there.
Wow, that's
Right?
fantastic.
So these things evolve over time. And if there's other farms that can take it locally, I can get a little closer. It just saves time and money for everyone.
What was like, if you say, what was your biggest surprise when you went to do this on your own, or something that you just, even though it sounds like you were pretty tight, but what was like a biggest surprise that you didn't see or had to kind of pivot to, adjust?
So coming from Wall Street, the rules are super strict, regulatory rules, but some of the play in the industry, the tricks that the little guys are able to use.
Because you don't know 'em.
You don't know them, and they're not legal, and it's a tough business to break into locations. It's much harder. Probably too inflated an opinion about making something good. Build it and they will come, because they've come in. But for me to get out is the greater challenge, because of pricing, because of volume, inexperience, the ability to persistently, great word, one of my favorite words, to persistently follow up, and it's hard being an owner to follow up, and without adding too much pressure. That to me is a great challenge, because being the face, I don't want to be a nag, right? I want to be respectful, but I also want to say I can help you, and sometimes they just don't want to hear it. That for me that's a big challenge.
Right, because you're the cheerleader of the brand.
Yeah.
But you kind of need some of the soldiers to be going out.
Nuts and bolts question.
Right.
Did you choose East Northport because that's your home?
Yes.
Did you have any issues with the landlord?
Nope, they've been fantastic.
He was, as soon as the variety store went out, you jumped?
Outstanding. Yeah. They've been really good.
Like you knew when that was going out, and
It went out. It was out for a while. It was out for 3 years. I had a couple different locations, and each one of those locations led to a slightly different business plan. This is small. I should buy this. This is bigger. I can't buy it now on a right of first refusal. That faded, and this was always there, but I never really looked at it in that type of location, in a strip mall, effectively.
right, yeah, it's pretty
standard,
unheard of,
right? So,
but it's local.
It is, and a lot of it had to do with me being the face and being a part of a community. Whereas I used to sit on a train, and I would be next to my neighbor. I would sit in a chair next to him. I wouldn't say a damn word.
Right.
You walk past them on the train thing in the morning at getting the 5:29 train, heads down, shoulders are slumped, dragging your knuckles.
So that's a very fair point, and especially in Long Island, I feel like, I just became really good friends with my neighbor after 7 years.
Paul Durante?
How crazy, right? Because I don't know if it's culturally like the way we are, but I kind of keep to myself a little bit. You don't bother people when you're on the train. And now, Jesus Christ, if someone says hi, you don't know if you're getting robbed.
And everyone's staring at their phone now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, the phone is created.
Bar car, hopefully they bring the
So what was
bar
your?
car back.
So
I heard they're working on it.
What was your thought process? So you basically 529 train. You're next to your neighbor. Did you want to kind of bring people together, or?
I want to bring people together, and the common denominator that I found, and we use this in our logo, it's technology distilling tradition. We're using technology to distill from tradition what we want. That's what we do every day. Along those lines, it's a rising tide. So rising tide mentality, rising tide lifts all boats. That's my goal, to lift all boats. We shouldn't be drinking stuff made in Kentucky and Texas. We should be drinking stuff made on Long Island. Long Island beer, Long Island wine, Long Island spirits.
Have you spoken with the town supervisors and whatnot? Because that's one of the things they say, and like Werheim is, they're very big on keeping the local dollars local and not pushing people out to go somewhere else to spend that money.
100%. I have not spoken with him. I think I met him. We do a lot of fundraisers, and I'm not political opinionated in my place of business.
Yeah.
That's not my
Smart.
thing.
Yeah.
We're in the spirits party. So I've had a bunch of them, and a bunch of people from Huntington, from Smithtown have been in for those, and I've had some great conversations about that.
Interesting. I mean,
Why not a brewery and over a distillery? Tell me that.
I think brewers are incredibly talented, and I don't have that skill set.
Okay.
I think it's a harder business.
Can you tell me the difference between the brewery?
Sure.
and,
So for me, I'll allude it, and I may have mentioned this earlier. I'll align it. Brewing and winemaking are like baking. Distilling is cooking. I want to sit behind the grill. I want to chop stuff up. I want to throw stuff. If something drops on the floor, you got a 3-second rule.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You don't have that flexibility in brewing. It fits literally my spirit. Kind of corny.
Okay, I see, because you can be creative.
The level of creativity, I have a level of fearlessness in what I make now that with a beer, you can do things to it, and that's part of that's my lack of experience in making beer. I made it once or twice, and it was a challenge, and it was, for me, it was very frustrating. Whereas this, I could, if I make something, I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. What if I do this? And the alignment was there. The freedom for me was there.
That's awesome.
To really,
it's interesting because it ties to the beginning of your career, being creative within the rules.
Yeah.
And in essence, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's followed the same kind of trajectory.
And your family's working there.
Yeah.
Two of your sons?
Both sons. John and Aiden.
I met them both.
Yeah.
Good kids.
See, now again, as we've gotten older and our kids are older, the ability to have your kids work with you in a family business, I think, is so appealing. Something I never thought about 20 years ago.
So it's amazing, and it's super. It's the best thing and the hardest thing, because I'm trying to teach them to be men, because I was on the train or in the city or New Jersey for 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and I wasn't there. I was there for fun things, but I wasn't there to show for them to see my work ethic. Now they see it and they think I'm insane. So they weren't there to feel it. And I'm trying to train them to be men, to be diligent, to be workers, and then I got to hold them accountable, like, why aren't you doing this? And then that folds over into get home, sit at the table, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why don't you do this? And then it becomes, conversation at dinner, and it destroys the peace. So it's
different challenges.
It's a tremendous challenge. I am super, super proud of them and us in continuing to do it. They've been there for a long time, and they're pushing hard, and they're learning more. They've developed things. My oldest son has created absinthe like it was his project. He did it all himself. So for me, I'm super prideful of that.
We are leaders at work, and I think sometimes the male in the house forgets that they're a leader at home too.
Yeah.
And they think just because they went off to work for 16 hours that that's leadership.
Yeah.
And when they come home, it should be all cake time. And I'm not.
No.
I know I'm.
It's very fair.
But for myself, I've spent the past 16 years working from home. So that takes my oldest down to 6.
Right.
So all of my kids from wee young got to see dad manage, working from home, coaching soccer, coaching lacrosse, baseball, football, still working, pitching in on Saturdays, volunteering at the church, working on Sunday, seeing all that work ethic, and my rewards are right here. My 22-year-old's an amazing vet tech, loves her job, loves what she does. Emily financed a European trip by working her butt off during the summer and Christmas because she knew she was going. And Lexi works like 30 hours a week at Fat Boy Burrito.
Oh, great.
Plays flag football, got a scholarship to college, is having the time of her life, goes out 5 nights a week, does not ever ask me for money. That's something I'm really proud of, not because of the money, that they feel like I felt when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I want something, I gotta go work for it. And then mom and dad can't tell me no.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess we're
last 2 questions.
Sure. All right. So it's been a very interesting journey, and I could probably go on for a while because I have a whole. Whip out the laptop and the Excel. We could go through some stuff like
Same here, bro.
So
the dial-up modem.
You're I guess you started at 19, and now we're basically almost 7 years now.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with the business?
Growing volume, growing sales. Certainly my goal now is, now that I've proven that I can make something good, I've proven it to myself and others, we're literally this week and next week, we're joining our first competitions. Spirit competitions. We're going to have our whiskeys out there, or vodkas. I think that's going to help propel us.
Tell us where.
These are the International Spirits Competition.
Where is it?
It's in Louisville this year. Louisville. Then we're going to do International Wine and Spirits out of New York as well. Those two I'm sure about, and that's going to put us on the map. I know I'm expecting they're going to win some unique things. We make things differently, so we do a low proof tequila, a 20% ABV tequila. Or agave spirit. It's unique. It's in a different classification. It's catering to the lower end of the consumption.
Right.
Which
people aren't looking to get trashed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little more health conscious. So we're trying to find our niche. So it's number one, finding our niche in the business, doing what we think is still valuable and making great spirits. So sales is the next thing, and continued production.
Do you see multiple locations in the future?
It's possible in the right environment, yes. As a distillery in New York, we can do a second satellite.
Okay.
That's it. Breweries allow 5.
What's a satellite?
So if I
defined
was to
as?
open a location in, say, Riverhead on the water, or Hampton Bays on the water,
Right.
that would be considered a second location.
Okay.
Or if I was to open up a storefront in Huntington Village, that would be a second location.
Got
At
it.
least you have
Okay.
the option. That's good.
We do. Breweries have 5 locations they're able. We're only allowed 2 with the distillery. So hopefully, there's been the New York Distilling Guild is a fantastic group of people. They've been super successful in getting laws brought up to speed for distillers. I'm hoping that becomes the next law that we can affect. It's just to catch up with beer and wine. That's all it is.
Right.
So
Okay.
hopefully, I think a second location is certainly there. It's not there now. I really want to focus on production and building up sales right now.
Last question. If you could have dinner with anyone past or present, dead or alive, in the history of the world, who's your go-to guy or girl to sit down and talk to?
I'm very interested in American history. I love how America was created out on an idea. Probably George Washington.
That's the first step.
Good
Good
answer.
answer.
We have a bottle coming out that's going to be a collaboration with Paws of War, where they're going to get some of
Okay.
the proceeds.
Yep.
And I put 4 founding father quotes on the back.
Nice.
George Washington's the top.
You know, it's what I learned while I was in Italy. We did a tour. Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson consistently came to Venice. Did you see how they built things? I mean, you're talking about a city on water.
Yeah.
And just to be able to build what they build and take the ideas, architectural, space-wise, monument-wise, and they kept saying that, you know, wherever I went, it was just world known that the United States was smart enough to send their people around the world to bring different ideas and different cultures into the building of American history, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we got the camera over there for you, your name, your distillery, how to find you.
So name is John Pawluk. We're at Twisted Cow Distillery. We're at 13 Hewitt Square, East Northport, New York. You can find us online through www.twistedcowdistillery.net. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Twisted Cow Distillery.
Mark?
Mark Simpson from SEM Holdings. We handle all outsourced loss prevention across the country. 917-414-4027.
Eddie Pods moving and storage, but more importantly, I'm spending more time in the trade show zone. If you're doing a trade show, give me a call. Let me get your team up to speed on what you're going to do before the show, during the show, and after the show. It'll pay off in high dividends. That's it. It's a wrap.
Cheers.
We'll see you at episode 50.